Hey guys, I'm Alfred Potterspot and welcome to week 17 of the 2018-2019 Premier League review. If you are new to the series, what we do is we take a look at the past set of Premier results, we take a look at the Premier League table, and we finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here are the past set of Premier results. These games were played on Saturday the 15th and Sunday the 16th of December 2018. Next to the games are their times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific match, just go to the time next to the game and you will skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with Liverpool versus Manchester United. In the biggest game in English football, don't at me, it is. Liverpool took the lead in the 24th minute as Sadio Mane opened the scoring. Liverpool had the ball on the left, it gets laid back to Fabinho, who took a step back. He looked up, dinked a lovely ball over the United defence to Sadio Mane, broke free of any defenders, chests it down, catches it on the volley, and slides it through David De Gea's legs. But United would level it up 10 minutes later as Jesse Lingard got a goal out of absolutely nowhere. Has to go down as an Alisson mistake, this one. A ball was drilled into the box from Romelu Lukaku from the right. Alisson has both hands on it, but as he falls to the ground, the ball hits his knee, pops out of his hand, and Lingard does do well to follow it up and lift it over Alisson and into the net. But Liverpool retook the lead in the 73rd minute. Xherdan Shaqiri got a goal just 2 minutes after coming onto the pitch, the little sex machine. Sadio Mane does really well on the left-hand side. He beat Ander Herrera, cut the ball back. There's no one there, but a few deflections off of a defender and then one off of De Gea. The ball breaks free to Shaqiri, hit it first time, and thanks to a little deflection, it bounces off of the underside of the bar and over the line. And Liverpool doubled their lead 7 minutes later as Xherdan Shaqiri got his second and Liverpool's third. Like I said, sex machine. He started the move off and I was telling him to shoot, but instead he plays it forward. Roberto Firmino has the ball, he tees it up, he was aiming for Salah but it goes behind him, but Shaqiri's there, and again his shot takes a little deflection into the corner of the net. And that's how the game ended, nothing short of what Liverpool deserved. The fact that United even got a goal in this game is quite annoying. United barely threatened all match and were doing their usual tricks of annoying Liverpool, but Klopp introduced a little Swiss with 20 minutes to go. He flipped it. He completely flipped the game. Also, I want to mention Paul Pogba. He's United's best player, arguably United's best player, and he doesn't start against your biggest rivals. Not only that, he doesn't even get onto the pitch. He was on the bench. It's just strange. And this match was actually the last straw, as Mourinho's been sacked. What a day! We all knew it was coming, and his last contributions were Man United boss was to give Chris Smalling a new contract and to be spanked by Liverpool. Ha! What a perfect ending. Like I said, it was coming. They're Man United, for God's sake. The biggest club in England. As much as I hate to admit it, they are. And they're 20 points off of the top four. It's not good. I don't know who they're going to get in to replace him. A lot of United fans are screaming for Zidane, but let's be real. Is Zidane, after winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row, going to come to United with the state they're in? I just can't see Zidane being the manager of a mid-table team. But back to the game, it was quite a stressful week for Liverpool, and they got through it perfectly. Not only did they do it in midweek, qualify for the Champions League against all odds, let's be honest, they did it against their biggest rivals as well, to return to the top of the table, and giving Mourinho the boot as well. What? Oh, could you get any better? And we move on to Manchester City versus Everton. Man City took the lead 20 minutes into the match as Gabriel Jesus scored his first league goal since August. A poor clearance from Everton goes straight to Ilkay Gundogan. He played it forward to his German teammate Leroy Sané. The Everton defence switch off and they allow Jesus to just run into space. Sané plays it forward into the Brazilian in the box, who squeezed it home at a tight angle. And City doubled their lead 5 minutes into the second half as Gabriel Jesus got his and City's second of the afternoon. Sané with his second assist as well as he had the ball in the bottom left corner of the box. He dinks an inch perfect cross onto the 6-yard line, and there in between the defenders was Jesus, who guided his header into the net. But Everton were going to go back 5 minutes later as Dominic Calvert-Lewin got Everton back in it. Good counter-attack from Everton as Ademola Lookman burst forward and played it to Richarlison. Richarlison's pass is blocked, but the clearance is poor and goes straight to Lucas Digne on the left. He put a ball into the middle, and just like City's goal, Calvert-Lewin got in between the defence and nodded on. But City got their 2-goal lead back 5 minutes later as Raheem Sterling got the goal with his first touch. Both these teams really need to work on defending crosses. Fernandinho picks the ball up deep in the Everton half. He played it to Gabriel Jesus, straight back to Fernandinho. He made his way to the byline, again dinked the ball in, again on the 6-yard line, again ghosting between defenders. And it was Sterling. He headed past Pickford this time. And as the game ended, Everton threatened early on in the game and should have taken the lead after Richarlison squandered a golden chance in the 15th minute, but blazed it well over the bar. But as soon as Jesus put City ahead, they rarely looked like giving the lead up. City looked in complete control. Everton did get some hope, but that was quickly squashed as they double their lead again. It was City's 10th home league win in a row, and after their first loss of the season last week at Chelsea, they found themselves in a familiar position, back at the top of the table, with Liverpool still to play on the Sunday, but they're not there anymore because Liverpool won and got Mourinho sacked as well. Mourinho sacked. And we move on to Southampton versus Arsenal. Southampton took the lead on the 20-minute mark as Danny Ings got the opening goal. Maybe a bit of rustiness on the part of Laurent Koscielny as Matt Targett whipped just a perfect ball in, right in front of the keeper. He can't come for it. Koscielny completely airs it. He's going for a volley or trying to bring it down. In those situations, just head it around for a corner. He misses it. Behind him was Danny Ings, who got his noggin on it and headed home. But the lead won't last long as 7 minutes later, Henrik Mkhitaryan levelled it up. Alex Iwobi has the ball deep in the half. Nacho Monreal times his run well, and Iwobi finds him down the wing. He takes it to the byline, dinks one in the middle, and Mkhitaryan is there to stoop low and head past Alex McCarthy. But Southampton would retake the lead just before half-time as Danny Ings got his second of the game. He hadn't scored a header in the league for nearly 3 years, and he just goes and gets 2 in 25 minutes. It was a weird header to watch. Nathan Redmond floated one in from the right. Ings ghosted in front of his man, looped his header into the corner. There wasn't much power in it, and Leno just didn't move. But Arsenal levelled the game up again in the 53rd minute as Henrik Mkhitaryan got his second of the game as well. A very big deflection as Southampton give it away cheaply on the edge of their own area. Alexandre Lacazette holds it up, finds Mkhitaryan in space, he shoots. It's never going to trouble the keeper until it takes a mad deflection off of Yannick Vestergaard and trickles over the line. But Southampton took the lead for the third time with 5 minutes to go as Arsenal's nemesis, Charlie Austin, bagged the eventual winner. Another damn header. This one is Leno's mistake though, and quite a bad one. Ozil loses the ball trying to be fancy. Southampton break. They free Shane Long down the right. He looks up, stands a cross up that Bernd Leno decided to come for. There was no way he was ever getting it. It goes over him, and they're waiting for it to drop with Charlie Austin with an open goal, and he just lets the ball bounce off his head and into the empty net. And as the game ended with Southampton putting an end to Arsenal's mammoth unbeaten run, and also gave Southampton their first win under new manager Ralph Hasenhüttl. I think I'm very good at saying that last name. Like, I think that's, even the pronunciation, even the way I'm saying, I think I've got that spot on. Hasenhüttl. See, it just rolls off the tongue. A very back and forth game this one, which saw Arsenal somehow concede 2 headers to Danny Ings. Arsenal did have their chance, but they wasted a lot of good opportunities, and McCarthy pulled off some good saves as well. Southampton looked dangerous on the break, which led to their third and winning goal as Arsenal just pushed far too many men forward, and Shane Long had all the time in the world on the right hand side. The victory took Southampton out of the bottom 3 and saw Arsenal be beat for the first time in 22 games and slip a little further away from that top 4. And we move on to Watford versus Cardiff. Watford took the lead in the 15th minute as Gerard Deulofeu just did it all himself. He picked the ball up on the edge of the box, some quick footwork takes him past 2 Cardiff players with ease before placing it past Neil Etheridge. And Watford doubled their lead 5 minutes into the second half as Jose Holebas scored a belt, another fantastic goal for Watford. And again, Deulofeu was involved as he has the ball on the left of the box. He takes his time, eventually finds Holebas, and he hit one first time and curls it into the top left. And Watford got their third in the 68th minute as Domingos Cunha got his first goal in English football. Pretty similar to Holebas's as he receives the ball from a layoff just outside the box. He curls it in the top right corner, leaving Neil Etheridge with no chance. But Cardiff would get a goal back in the 80th minute as Junior Hoylett could have possibly started the Cardiff comeback. Pretty much the same goal he scored against Wolves a few weeks ago. He had the ball now on the left, he cut inside, brought it onto his right, curls one from outside the box, and into the far corner. He only knows how to score one type of goal, it seems. And 3 minutes later, Cardiff would reduce the deficit to 1 as Bobby Reid got Cardiff their second of the match. Watford are furious with themselves as the ball is pinging around the Watford box. There's a massive scramble, but it eventually finds Bobby Reid, who slotted it home. And that's how the game ended. Watford survived the latest scare to pick up the win. What actually happened? You were home and hosed, you were comfortable, you were fine, but then you just almost threw it away with minutes to go. Cardiff were pretty much non-existent for most of the game, and if not for Neil Etheridge in the Cardiff net, it would have been a lot more than 3. Watford became complacent after their third goal, and it almost cost them, but to be fair, they could have got their 4th in stoppage time, if not for another good save by Etheridge. Watford had lost their 2 previous home games before this, but they ended that today with some fine goals as well. And we move on to Brighton versus Chelsea. Chelsea took the lead in the 17th minute as Pedro gave the visitors the lead. Eden Hazard has the ball on the edge of the area. He shoots, but it was blocked and the ball just falls straight back to him. He then skipped it in the middle, takes it towards the byline before cutting the ball right across the face of goal to Pedro, who ran in at the back post and touched it home. And Chelsea doubled their lead just after the half-hour mark as Eden Hazard went from assister to scorer. Willian picked the ball up inside his own half, played it at Hazard, who runs and runs and runs, and you get my drift. He eventually finds himself with the keeper. He just rolled it past Matty Ryan into the net. But Brighton would cut the deficit in half in the 66th minute as Solly March got Brighton back into it. Brighton were just let off after Chelsea wasted a good chance, and they got the other end with a cross from the right hand side that hangs in the air for what seems like forever. Bernardo heads it back across goal, Solly March beats David Luiz and flicks home from 6 yards out. And as the game ended, Chelsea were forced to play a different style in this game as they only have one fit striker in Olivier Giroud, but they chose to keep him on the bench and play Eden Hazard as a false 9, and it worked for like the first half. In the second half though, Brighton grew into the game and Chelsea's performance just seemed to drop a little bit. Despite the nervy half an hour after the Brighton goal, Chelsea were able to hold on and stop their losing streak away from home. And we move on to Fulham versus West Ham. West Ham took the lead 15 minutes into the game as Robert Snodgrass put the irons ahead and made Fulham continue their wait for a first clean sheet. From one end to the other, Mitrovic looks to be in at one end, West Ham clean that up, and boom, they're up the other end within 30 seconds. Felipe Anderson makes his way forward, confusing the Fulham defence with his quick feet. Normally he would definitely shoot from here, but instead he looks up, finds Snodgrass just outside the area, lays it back to him, and the Scot curls one first time into the left hand side of the net. And West Ham double their lead just before the half-hour mark through Mikel Antonio. This is why Fulham don't have any clean sheets. Where the hell are the defenders here? Felipe Anderson picked the ball up on the left hand side, he dinked one in towards the front post, and it's like 3 Fulham players going up for it against 1 West Ham player being Chicharito, and of course Chicharito wins it. He flicks it behind him, and there was Antonio with all the space in the world to slide his effort underneath the keeper, through his legs as well. I mean, I don't know where the defenders are. He's literally got pretty much all of London to shoot. There's no one around him. And as the game ended, another good performance from West Ham, who picked up their 4th league win on the trot. Fulham had some good chances in the first half, but they were just shooting from anywhere most of the time, and when they did get into better positions, the shots were tame or just easily dealt with by the West Ham defence. Fulham had a period where they were just shooting and shooting. They had like 5 shots in the space of 3 or 4 minutes, and at the end of it, West Ham go and show them how it's done as they scored. Fulham created very little after the break, and West Ham picked up the comfortable win without ever really having to get out of first gear. And we move on to Wolves versus Bournemouth. Wolves took the lead 10 minutes into the match as Raul Jimenez put the horse in front. Bournemouth had seen plenty of the ball, but they just gave it away cheaply, and Diego Jota drives forward, breezes past 2 players with a good switch of pace before firing the ball towards goal. That clips the heel of an opposition player, falls to Jimenez, who fired home at the back post. And Wolves sealed the point in the 92nd minute as substitute Ivan Cavallero wrapped the game up. Desperation from Bournemouth as they launched the ball forward. Wolves captain Connor Cody clears it. Ivan Cavallero held the Costa player 1-2 with the former just beating the offside trap. Begovic tries to come out and smother the chance, but the striker kept his cool and sealed the win. And as the game ended, Bournemouth were their own worst enemies in the end as they gifted Wolves the first goal, and they had it all to do from then. It's Wolves' 3rd top flight win in a row, something that they haven't done since 1980, and they've already matched their tally from the last time they were in the Premier League. In the whole of the 2011-2012 season, they recorded 25 points. They've already got that, and we're not even halfway through. Wolves are quietly climbing the table, you know. They're 7th now. Where's that come from? Bournemouth are slipping a bit though. After starting the season well, they now find themselves 10th with just 1 win from their last 7 league games. And we move on to Tottenham versus Burnley. It looked like it was going to end goalless, but Tottenham won the game in stoppage time as Christian Eriksen got the goal in the 91st minute. Heartbreak for Burnley as just like midweek, Tottenham keep persisting and get their reward as the ball is in the Burnley area. Harry Kane holds it up, plays it to Christian Eriksen, and the Dane smashes his shot home. And that's how the game ended, with Eriksen's late goal breaking the resistance of the Burnley back line. It looked as if Burnley were going to hold on and get a deserved point, to be honest, but sub Eriksen just popped up. He wasn't having any of it. This was just like the Burnley of last season, defended from the front, stopped the attacking players of Spurs by hunting them down in groups. Harry Kane, Del Alli and Eric Lamela were always being ganged up on every time they got the ball. Pochettino looked a beaten man on the sideline, but with seconds to go, his team got the win. That was very cruel on Burnley. It's almost bullying. And we move on to Huddersfield versus Newcastle. Newcastle took the lead 10 minutes into the match as Salomon Rondon scored a massive goal for the Magpies. The first real promising play of the match really, as Ayoze Perez slipped it through to his darting fullback in Javier Manquillo. He found Rondon and the striker makes no mistake as he puts it past Lussell and into the back of the net. And as the game ended, Newcastle's goal came completely against the run of play. Huddersfield dominated the contest and wasted some very good chances on what was a really frustrating day for the hosts. Despite the never-ending pressure, Newcastle held firm at the back, grinded out their 4th win of the season. David Wagner's men will be wondering how they didn't get anything from this game, as they've now lost 4 league games on the bounce. And finally, we've got Crystal Palace versus Leicester, our 3rd 1-0 of the episode. I just didn't know how to order these, so Palace and Leicester were going last, sorry. Palace took the lead 5 minutes before half-time as Luka Milivojevic produced a rare moment of quality in this match. As mentioned, it was a half void of any real quality, but out of nowhere, Palace quickly break. It looks like they were snuffed. It looks like it wasn't going anywhere. They were being forced at the corner. So they work it back. Luka Milivojevic, about 25 yards out, he takes a touch, gets it onto his right, curls a powerful effort into the corner past Kasper Schmeichel. And that's how the game ended, with captain Luka Milivojevic securing a much needed win for Palace with a very good strike in an otherwise scrappy game. Both sides struggled to create in the first half, and that trend continued into the second as well, with Palace content to sit back, soak up pressure and look for the counter. Palace went into the match without Wilfried Zaha, something that doesn't normally go well for them, as the last 13 games where Zaha hasn't played, Palace have lost all 13 of them. But not today, as the other main man in the squad stepped up and gave Palace the win. Right, so that's all the games I've got for this week. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Starting with top 5, and as you can see, Liverpool are on the top after beating Man United, and I'm not sure you've heard, they sacked Mourinho as well. I'm not sure you've heard. What a brilliant day. Man City are 2nd after winning against Everton. Tottenham are 3rd after their late win against Burnley. Chelsea are 4th after beating Brighton. And Arsenal make up the top 5 with their loss to Southampton. But they were never really in any danger of slipping out the top 5 because they're like 10 points clear of 6th. So moving on to the bottom 5, and Fulham are on the bottom after losing to West Ham. Huddersfield are 19th after being beat by Newcastle. Burnley make up the bottom 3 after losing at Wembley. Southampton jump to 17th after picking up a massive win against Arsenal, and Cardiff make up the bottom 5 after losing to Watford. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Mo Salah is on the top, even scoring against United. He stayed on 10 goals and 4 assists. Pierre Aubameyang probably should have scored against Southampton, but he wasn't able to do so. He stayed on 10 goals and 3 assists. Raheem Sterling got a goal against Everton, that took him to 9 goals and 6 assists. Harry Kane got the assist for the late win at Burnley, but no goal, so he's on 9 goals and 3 assists. And Eden Hazard makes up the top 5. He got a goal and an assist at Brighton, so he moved to 8 goals and 9 assists. Right, so that's all good for this week. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back next Monday at 4 PM for the next episode of the Premier League review. Yes, I know I normally upload these on a Tuesday, but next Tuesday is Christmas Day, so no thank you. To stay up to date about everything we do, it would be best to follow us on Twitter. The link to that is in the description, or it's at portionofsport_. If you missed last week's episode, that'll be popping on your screen now, along with a link to the channel, so you can subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I will see you soon. Mourinho got sacked!